We will go to item F, which is consider approving change order number 2 to ES-01-21 Southwest Boulevard Improvement Project to Reese Albert Incorporated, increasing the total contract amount by $381,942.12, bringing the new contract total to $7,044,837.11, and authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute all related documents. Tommy, you asked to have it pulled, so I'm going to go to you first.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Patrick, I'm sure this may cover a lot of the questions up here. Just bring us an update on why it's taking so long, when we can expect like the Southwest and Sherwood Way to be completed, and just give us kind of an update on what's going on within the whole project, as well as what the increased $381,000 is about.
Definitely, Tommy. It's no secret that there's two guarantees when you start a construction project. It's going to rain, and you're going to find something underground that you didn't know was there. And those are the two primary factors for why this project is delayed longer than what our initial expectation was, especially when we're talking about the two intersections, Southland and Southwest, as well as the low water crossing there at McDonald's. Reese Albert got started on that, and then just like we said, it started raining on us, which gave us some delay in those projects. And it's not just the day that it rains. Whenever it rains, it does have an impact on work that's already completed, so you have to rework those areas. In addition to that, there were some underground utilities that we came across that had to be adjusted, and Atmos gas line was adjusted. It rained, it floated it, and so they had to redo that work all over again. In addition to that, Reese Albert we are not their only customer. They do have other jobs going on, so they had to pull some of their concrete crews to go perform some work out at the airport that they were behind on. So the culmination of all of those is what's delayed this project longer than what the initial press release said it was going to be. So when we're looking at the Southland and Southwest intersection, we are expecting an end of November deadline to finish that up. The crews are back working over there, so there is going to be progress being made there. When we look at the low water crossing, we're looking at about that same time frame of finishing that up, pending no other unforeseen delays. So what's before you today is a concrete, changing the scope of work from an asphalt paving over to a concrete paving. It's no secret that right there at that Southwest intersection, it's been a horrible, horrible roadway. It's hard to drive on. And so what we want to do is mitigate that. And the best way to mitigate that in the future is putting in a more substantial paving surface, which is concrete. It's an added cost. We know that, but the benefits there, staff believes, meet or outweigh that cost moving forward. The last thing we want to do is build a project that then fails and doesn't meet the expectations of the taxpayer. So we're doing that. They are still working down by Cavender's. They're stabilizing that second lift of that northbound lane. Once they get that done, they'll be come through and pave that area. So there is progress being made through there. So, but I don't know if that answers your question fully, or if you'd like some more detail.
That answers my questions and the questions that citizens have had of me. Would you even venture a guess as a possible completion of the entire project? Are we looking at another 60 days, possibly 90 days?
Like I said, those two intersections are the major work going on right there. So when we finish up those two, that Cavender's area will also be kind of finishing up in that same time frame. So the end of the year is kind of what we're expecting to substantially complete that project. Obviously, there's going to be a punch list that's always involved in every project, but we would hope by the end of the year that Southwest is substantially complete.
Thanks, Patrick.
Tom?
Patrick, I'm going a little further in the detail on this. It's an additional $381,000. So the question has been brought up and discussed, and Larry Miller brought it up with me. Are we taking the original bid of the concrete cost out and then adding, the asphalt cost out and adding the concrete onto it? We're not just taking and throwing the cost of the concrete on top of the asphalt.
No, sir. You are exactly correct. So what that $381,000 is a net result of a reduction of 52.9 of the cost of asphalt, the asphalt product itself, and then an additional 434 for the concrete, the rebar, and the installation of that. So it is a
Basically
net.
10 times as much to put in concrete.
It does. That's why
an
we don't,
astounding
that's why
number,
we don't
isn't
do
it?
concrete
Yeah.
roads only in specified areas where the benefit is necessary for that.
I'm good with that. That answered my question exactly. And if Larry Miller, if you're watching, there's your question.
Harry, did you have a question?
Just a real quick comment, I guess. I understand the cost of concrete is higher, but there are certain places in this community that we're going to have to use concrete. I guess my question is why didn't we anticipate this at this particular intersection when we did the engineering 18 months ago or 12 months ago, whatever that was? I mean, we know what the traffic is there, and we know what that impact is in that particular part of the community. I guess I wonder why, and I can play Monday morning quarterback all the time, but there are other places in the community that we've got similar situations. Can we get ahead of the curve? And I think that's what I'm asking.
Right. And we did, Harry. Staff had directed the engineering firm to place concrete as the paving surface in that particular area. We review those plans several times, and they come back, and a lot of times there's so many changes when you come into that what you've already reviewed and what you've already commented on, you don't necessarily give the impetus to that. You look at the new things that we're changing and you focus on that. Somewhere along that line, it got flipped back over into asphalt versus concrete paving, and we didn't notice it until we were about to lay. And now, had that been an original part of the bid like staff had requested, we would have recommended it and approved it with the original award in the original bid. So this is doing nothing but going back to what staff had requested be in the plan specifications already. So this isn't a change after the fact. This is correcting what had dropped through the design and the review process.
The good news is you caught it before you laid the asphalt.
Amen.
So that's the positive.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, with that, may I have a motion for approval? on
So
item
moved,
F?
Mayor.
All right, a motion by Tommy, a second by Harry. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. This motion passes 5-0.